As sometimes happens when you are recording a podcast, you record the entire episode with the wrong microphone. This episode of the GrantCast was recorded with the wrong microphone selected, but since I recorded the whole episode, and since it doesn't sound horrible, it doesn't sound up to the usual standards that I like, but since it doesn't sound horrible, I'm just going to put it out as is, so I apologize, and next time I will do my due diligence to make sure that I'm recording with the correct microphone. That being said, enjoy this episode of the GrantCast.
You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show.
Here we go. Welcome to the GrantCast, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Grant Baciocco, and it is a pleasure to have you here listening to the words that I'm going to say coming out of my mouth right now. I hope you are doing well since the last time we spoke. If this is your first time here, welcome, enjoy. This is just a bunch of ranting and driveling and all that kind of good stuff. I like trail mix. I really like trail mix. I can eat just a ton of trail mix. My favorite kind of trail mix is trail mix that has dates in it. And I didn't even know that they were dates, but then I found out they were dates, and I was like, this is the only trail mix I could buy. So we shop at Vaughn's. Which is just a local store, Vaughn's, Albertsons. I think they're all the same type thing. But anyway, I shop at Vaughn's and would always just buy like this. I don't even know what brand it was, but it was just a bag of trail mix and bring it home and eat it, and usually a day and a half, and then get more next time I was at the store. I cannot be trusted around trail mix. I just can't. So anyway, I went to the store the other day to buy some stuff, and there was no trail mix at all. They had like these little itty bitty containers, and I was like, that is like a one handful container of trail mix. I need a much bigger thing of trail mix. And so they didn't have them for the longest time. And then this past week I went and I noticed that they kind of had trail mix in these plastic containers that are just sort of like, I don't even know what size it is, but they're these little plastic trays. And so they were bigger than those other portions that I didn't like, but there's still not a full, like, big bag of trail mix. But I was like, this is better than nothing. I want some trail mix. I'm going to get this. So on the shelf, I looked, and there was the top one was just, it said fruit trail mix, fruit and nut trail mix. So I just grabbed two of them, and I put them in the cart, and I brought home. And that was probably Sunday. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Maybe it was a Saturday. But anyway, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Either way, whether it was a Saturday or a Sunday. And I tore through the first thing of trail mix like you wouldn't believe. I ate it. It had banana chips in it, and it was just perfect. It was delicious. Dried pineapple. Yes, give it to me. It's all wonderful. So then I finish it, and I think yesterday afternoon, I was like, you know what I want? I want some trail mix. I want to give myself some trail mix. And so I open up the second thing of trail mix, and I look in it, and it is not trail mix. It is all nuts. It is almonds and cashews, and I think there might be peanuts in there. And so I look at the label that's on the top of this thing, and it says nut trail mix. And I look at the label on the old thing, because I had just thrown it away, and it's the same kind of label, but the other one says fruit and nut trail mix. And this one just says nut trail mix. And friends, that is not trail mix. If it is all nuts, it is not trail mix. It is mixed nuts. It is completely different. And nowhere the same. Right? I'm right about this, right? If it's all nuts, it's just mixed nuts. It's not trail mix. Trail mix, you got to have different things in there. This is a hill I will die on. Now watch, probably the definition of trail mix is any mixture of different, but no, you got to have different things. Mixed nuts is not trail mix. Planters doesn't sell trail mix in their salted nuts, mixed nuts cans. They sell salted mixed nuts. Honey roasted mixed nuts. Ooh, I was mad. And now like I don't eat as much just mixed nuts without the fruit in there, like the little sweet, you know? And I'll tell you, like I'm hate eating this trail mix. This quote-unquote trail mix, which is not trail mix. Anyway, Very upsetting. Very upsetting. Recently, Toily was doing a live stream, and with my friend John, Toily and John were doing a live stream, and they play like Jeopardy or Kahoot, because it's games that you can play with the people who are watching the live stream. And it was Cartoon Kahoot, and one of the questions was, who was this character? And it was Top Cat. Remember Top Cat? I used to watch Top Cat all the time as a kid. And then it reminded me of this story. When I was a kid, my dad, before he went to work one day, it was like maybe during the summer and I had the day off, and I was awake, and my dad said, I'm going to go get you donuts. What kind of donuts do you want? And I said, whatever. And I guess so mom could sleep or something like that. And so before he left to work, he went and got me a maple bar, chocolate sprinkles, I don't know, something like that probably. And so I'm watching TV while he goes out to get this. We didn't live too far from the donut place. But remember, he was doing this all before work. So he was like in a rush to go out and do this, and then he had to go into work. So he comes back, and I don't know that he's back, but right as he's getting back, there is a moment on the Top Cat cartoon. Top Cat says, I gotta look up what this other character's name is, but like he's got that little like blue cat or purple cat that is his friend. And that always, yeah, sure thing, TC, whatever, TC, like that guy. And he said to him, he goes, hey, go get that thing. And this little character goes, zoop, zoop, like he leaves and comes immediately back with the thing. And Top Cat says, what took you so long? And I thought that was so funny. Because he was back instantaneous, right? But it was so funny because he said, what took you so long? So my dad, seconds after this happened on TV, and I'm laughing, walks into the room, and he goes, I got your donuts. And so what do I say? I'm a little kid. I don't even think my brother was born. So I was probably, or maybe he was just born. So I was probably like 8 or 7 or 6 or something around in that age. I look at my dad and I go, what took you so long? And my dad was like, well, I went and got this. And I didn't realize, because I was a dumb kid, that he didn't know that was just on the TV and that was just on the cartoon, right? He left, came back, went and got donuts, came back, and then he had to leave to go to work, and he walks in to bring his charming, handsome, wonderful son a donut or two, and I respond with, what took you so long? So later in that day, my mom told me, I heard what you said to your father, and he was very upset about it. I talked to your dad. He was very upset that you said, what took you so long? And that was just the wrong thing to say. And I knew I was in trouble, so I didn't try to explain that it was on a cartoon, or maybe even if I did, they were like, it doesn't matter. That's something rude, and you don't say that. So anyway, I was telling this story as Toily the other day, and then I just got the idea. I go, well, do you want to call my dad? We'll apologize. But I'm talking as Toily, right? And so John says yes. So we call my dad, and it's this whole great thing. It'll be out on Toily's YouTube channel in, I don't know, a couple weeks or so, just as a little highlight, because we don't usually put up all the live streams on Toily's channel, but I do put up highlights. So it's in the queue to come out. But anyway, John was just laughing because my dad, of course, did not remember all of this, but I apologized as Toily, and he thought it was pretty funny. So anyway, that's a little story of Top Cat. What took you so long? That I have been obsessing over for years. Ever since that day, it is something that has not left my head. My great-grandparents on my dad's side, my dad's parents, Fred and Doris, I always called Noni and Nonu. So Noni was my great-grandmother, and Nonu was my great-grandfather. I was very lucky because when I was born, I actually had 3. Let's see, you got 8 I had 7 of my 8 great-grandparents alive. And I think I met most of them. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, when I was growing up, I would always spend Saturday nights, not always, but a lot of times I would spend Saturday nights at my grandparents' house in San Francisco. And my parents would drop me off in the afternoon on Saturday, and then I would stay all Saturday night and then all day Sunday. And then usually my parents would come for dinner Sunday night and then take me home Sunday night. And not even thinking, like not even realizing until later, like, oh yeah, my parents were like heading out on a Saturday night. I don't know, what they were doing, what they were getting up to, but that's what was happening. And I remember that my great grandfather would come home, and we would hear him come home, and I would hide under the kitchen table, and he would come in and be like, "Oh." I don't remember exact wording of what he would say, but I can picture him vividly coming down this hallway and me under the table. And he's like, well, I guess Grant, I thought Grant was supposed to be here. Oh, he's not here? Well, where's Grant? That's my grandfather, like he's in a gangster movie. Where's Grant? He was supposed to be here, but he's not here. Oh, he should be here, but he's not. That's not how we talked. But anyway, I wish I remembered his voice. I don't remember his voice. I can remember my great-grandmother's voice because she was around for a lot longer. But anyway, I remember hiding under the table, and then I would come out and I would scare him. And I remember Sunday morning, we always had to go to church. That's the time, most of the time, where we would go to church. Myself would go to church. And then, but I'd be so excited to be there, I would want to stay up late. And then I did not find out till later that they would put on this whole show. My great-grandmother, great-grandfather, and my great-aunt, who still lived at the house, would say, all right, well, it's time for bed. Everybody get ready for bed. And I'm like, what? I'm still awake. And they're like, no, it's time for bed. And everybody would change into their pajamas and would get into bed. And I would get into this bed, and they had this sort of like, we always called it the back bedroom, but it was just this kind of back little bedroom that had a little kind of hideaway bed, and go to sleep. And what they would do is they would all go to sleep, or they would all get into bed and turn off all the TV, turn off all the lights. They'd be in their pajamas until I fell asleep, and then they would all get up again. I was duped. I should have known that. Anyway, yeah, fun memories. I always liked going up there. I remember that at that house, we had that house in the family. I say we, I didn't, but that house was in the family for a super long time. In San Francisco, and then it was sold. And I remember that one other story was we had an orange, and there were seeds in the orange, and I wanted to plant the seeds to have an orange tree in the back. And I don't know if it was my great-grandfather or my great-grandmother, but they helped me plant it, and then they paid the gardener to get a small tree to plant there. And it was not an orange tree, and there were never any oranges. But I remember even as an adult going to the house and looking at that, seeing like, yeah, that was the tree I planted. And look, like a week later, it was a tree. Oh, that's amazing. I planted those seeds, and a week later, it was a tree. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's going to wrap it up for this time. That's enough reminiscing and walking down memory lane. I want to do a sort of a creative, a state of creative. I was listening to Mur Lafferty's I Should Be Writing, and she was kind of doing a state of creative type thing. So, I want to update on what's going on creatively, because there's some things and some other things I feel stuck in. So that'll be for next time. But I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for subscribing. And thanks for listening to the GrantCast. I will talk to you soon. Bye, everybody. This episode of the GrantCast was edited by Steven Staver, who probably also did the artwork as well. This episode was made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a pledge for as little as $1 a month. Big shout out to all our patrons, and a special shout out to our patron producers, Eve Cunning, Kathy Crawford, Andrew Calcagno, Tony Urbano, Brandy, David Akers, Scott Armstrong, and Vicky Sebring. Patrons at the behind-the-scenes level and above get access to a video of a recording of this very episode. If you'd like to become a patron and receive episodes of the GrantCast before they are released to the public, visit patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. And thank you for your support. This episode of the GrantCast is copyright 2023 Saturday Morning Media Grant Baciocco Executive Producer, all rights reserved. www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com.
You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.